This is Tom Michel. I'm your immediate past president, and I'm joined today by two of NAIFA's finest. First of all, we have our current president, Mr. Larry Holzberg, and our Grassroots Chair, Mr. Mike Peters from Florida. As most of you know, no one does grassroots better than NAIFA. It's our heart and soul. We cover 535 seats of Congress, and we have the most passionate and politically involved members in our industry. Just recently, we had over 500 advisors at our Congressional conference in May. And now we have another great opportunity to influence policy with Congress's upcoming August recess. That's right, they all head home to your districts. So Larry and Mike, while we've got you today, I'll start with Larry. Can you tell us a little bit about why meeting with lawmakers in district is so important?
Well, thanks, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone. It's vitally important. As the greatest, I don't remember who said it, maybe Mark Twain, all politics are local. When you meet that representative in district, one, they recognize that you're a constituent, not just someone who's up on the Hill walking in as a lobbyist or something. So there's a whole different attitude about you meeting them and seeing them in their local office and talking about those local issues. Additionally, that follow-up visit this August after Congressional conference reinforces our relationships. It shows them we're not just there for one day, that it's an ongoing relationship, an ongoing concern of what we do for their constituents and what they can do for their constituents by supporting our issues. And most importantly, this year, it's an election year. And when it's an election year, that seeing them and being in front of them, letting them know what's important, helps motivate them to move in the right direction.
You bet, Tom. We're so excited to have an opportunity to get back face to face again with our lawmakers. We missed some opportunities over the past years of meeting face to face. We got back at that at Congressional conference here not long ago, and we're excited to rekindle that once again in district. We had over 125 first-time attendees at this last Congressional conference. And I think that's great. That shows the sign of how many folks we have that are interested in developing these relationships. And this is the best opportunity to really enhance those and continue that.
Couldn't said it better myself. I've been doing this a long time myself, gentlemen. And the thing that a lot of the members will always tell me is, I just met with my senator, or I just met with my congressman or woman either at the NLC or the Congressional conference. Do I really need to keep going? Do I need to see him again? Larry, can you tell us why an ongoing relationship is so important?
Well, I think you can never see them and be with them too often. But I also remind all our advisors, it's sort of like your client. They don't necessarily get the message the first time. They don't necessarily get the message the second time. But the third, fourth time you communicate in a friendly way, it starts to settle in. They start to understand it. It percolates and they appreciate what we're talking about. So that repetition of that similar message of why it's important becomes very effective. Also, you sometimes find out, and you might have seen that when you were on the Hill this past May, there are a lot of people on the Hill. There are a lot of different people coming in and out. It's less hectic in their office. So you have that time to spend a little more time and actually get some face time and speak to them. And I'm a firm believer of there's more repetition, the better the message comes out, the clearer the message. And it's also good, not only for those at Congressional conference, but bring another member who couldn't make it to Congressional conference with you in the district, because that adds reinforcements of more people and other people coming. So it's an opportunity to introduce other members to that advisor, to that legislator as well.
Well said. Mike, I'm sure you can talk about how important this is.
You bet. Hey, Larry hits it really solid. We've preached year over year to have 3 or 4 touches with that legislature each year. We've got the Congressional conference, we got the NLC. We've got to take advantage of this in district meeting time during August, and we pick up another one sometime throughout the year, whether it be a town hall meeting, a PAC check delivery, or a campaign assistance. So those 3 or 4 touches year after year after year helps build relationships. And that's really what we want to take advantage of, to remind legislators just who NAIFA is and what we do. And in district, you get to sit down and talk to them and explain that, hey, the people you represent live right here nearby, and how many people that you do business with that are constituents of that particular senator or representative. And, you know, many of our members didn't have the time to travel to DC to have those meetings. So now what a great opportunity for them to maybe just go across town or across county to sit down and meet with their legislator. Plus you get to meet the in-district staff. That's really crucial, because, you know, those folks can be so helpful when things come up in the district.
Yeah, I've had it twice. I've had it twice happen to me recently, where I went over an in-district meeting and the congressman said, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee. He and I went out for a cup of coffee. It's much more relaxed, not even any staff to talk about issues and get that relationship feeling. And you really then, they start to see you not only as a constituent, but someone who they can rely on for advice and counsel. And it becomes a more personal relationship when you do it in district.
Great insight, gentlemen. And I think you're both have hit the nail on the head with the word that I think. This is a relationship business, much like your own practices. Building a relationship with your constituents is really important. Mike, can you just touch real quickly, if you can, on the difference between a home district meeting? We've touched about it a little bit, but a home district meeting and the difference between that and a meeting that we have in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely, Tom. You know, the in-district meetings are often more relaxed, and oftentimes it's easier to get an appointment that fits your time frame, and also they've got room, so you can take 2 or 3 or 4 additional NAIFA members with you and sit down. And I've found, and it's been reported to me, that they are much more relaxed, more willing just to kind of get to know you, and you know, an opportunity to develop that relationship, explain again what NAIFA is. Now, when we come calling with a specific item that's really critical to us, they'll be that much more receptive in hearing us out.
Larry, you got some insight as well on.
That's a
on
great point. And I know a lot of us, when we're in DC, only had the opportunity to meet with a staffer. And although you may be disappointed, in a lot of ways, it's more important to meet with the staffers who give advice and counsel. My one piece of advice is remember who that staffer is. So when you meet with the congresswoman, man or woman in their home district or senator, you tell them how great a job their staffers doing, how wonderful they were to work with. And that also helps build that relationship, that you appreciate the staff and what they're doing, and it makes a connection. And again, what I can tell you is it is such a more relaxed visit. It's less stressful. It's less hectic. When you're on the Hill, there are 3, 4, or 5 lobbyists or lobbying groups coming in a day. That does not happen in the home district. There'll be some constituent items and others, but they have the time. They block out the time. I don't ever tell anybody this. If you had to have a really important conversation with them, you better do it in the home district than on the Hill. Not that I'm saying we don't go to the Hill because it's so important for what it means to the industry, but that home district, you really can roll up your sleeves and get some work done with.
Well said, gentlemen. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to share these important insights on the importance of advocacy. Advocacy is NAIFA's unique proposition when it comes to grassroots, and we really appreciate these 2 stalwarts sharing a little bit of time. So remember, a lot of people think August is when school's back in session and when you're taking vacations, and all that's true. But also, please put on your calendar now to make sure that you get out to see your local representative. It really does make a difference.